Hi everyone. So today we're going to be doing the visual from Illamasqua's Toxic Nature as I'm getting ready for my advanced certification. So I'm starting off with putting some wax over my brows just to flatten them and lighten them a little bit. I'm not necessarily interested in completely erasing my brows, just to making them lighter. So right now I'm using Studio Fix Concealer to kind of lighten them up. The video picked it up as a really yellow color, but it didn't really look it like that. So I'm just brushing through my brows right now just to flatten them a little bit more. Um, and then using the sponge to go over. Now I'm using the Studio Sculpt foundation in NW35. I'm going a little darker and a different undertone than I am just to get kind of the color that is on the picture. Want to be a little bit tanned. So make sure if you do this, you go over your ears and also down your neck to blend everything out. Putting a little bit of foundation over my brows as well. Now I'm just taking a paint pot in soft ochre just to create a base on my eyelids. And I'm going to be using Push the Edge pigment with a small flat shader brush just to press it on and to create the shade as it is in the image. Because I wanted to avoid the fallout, I'm actually putting a little bit of the Prep and Prime powder underneath my eyes. Um, in case something happened, I can just easily brush off the powder and all the color will come off as well. So now I'm just pressing on the eyes, creating the shape that's in the image. I'm using the same small shader brush. Now there was a little bit of fallout and I was just able to really quickly brush it off. And I'm actually mixing a vanilla pigment and a light green pigment to create a much lighter green in my palette with a small fan brush. And now I'm grabbing a shader brush and to apply the light green right above the purple. And then I'm taking a smaller brush just to create a detail on the inner corner. So you notice my eyebrows are a little bit more angled and the picture calls for a really round brows, so I'm gonna have to make them a little bit rounder looking. I also brushed off the powder because now I'm just gonna be using light colors, so it's not really gonna create that much visible fallout. Nothing that I couldn't really get rid of just in case it falls. Now I'm using an angled brush with a black eyeshadow to create the round brows. I'm starting on the bottom, and when you look at the picture you'll notice that the beginning of the brow is thinner and it kind of goes thicker into the center, which basically creates the illusion of a rounder brow. So if I were to do my brows like I usually do them, they would be much thicker in the front. Now I'm just using a black eyeliner to kind of fill in the brow because the black eyeshadow didn't give me enough intensity. I'm grabbing black track right now, the black gel liner with a thin eyeliner brush, pointy brush, and I'm just going to trace the purple eyeshadow. As you notice, this is not like a usual tutorial because I figured no one really wants to sit through 40 minutes of me doing this, and also it would just be too much talking, so I figured this is easier. If you have any questions, please just let me know. Now I'm just tracing the upper lash line with the eyeliner. The eyeliner basically goes around the purple shape all around. I kind of messed up on the shape. It should have been a little bit lower on the outer part of my lid, but That's okay. At least I did this and I know how I feel about color theory now and timing and everything, because that's what I need to prepare for my certification. So just finishing up small details in the eye, just trying to make it a little bit more descending on the outer lid. Now I'm just going to create the false looking lash line underneath my eye. You've noticed that it's much lower than a natural lash line, which is on purpose to create the illusion of larger eye. I feel like when I was looking at the picture that there was actually probably a sticker instead of makeup, but I'm not sure if it was just a really heavy Photoshop or it's really just a sticker. Sorry for the camera angle, by the way. I can't see myself when I film these things, so mostly I'm just guessing that you can see me, and I'm hoping that you do because I would hate to re-record. So now I'm just creating the thicker lashes that are in the image. This was a little bit of a challenge because I have puffiness underneath my eyes and the skin is so soft that it just, I didn't give myself enough time to really play around with it. So I didn't really perfect the shape with the gel eyeliner, so on purpose, because I just grabbed the liquid liner right now and I'm just tracing everything and making it perfect because the felt tip on the super slick liner is much easier to work with. Now I'm just putting like a tiny lines in between those thick ones just to create the more lashes. So now I'm grabbing bright fuchsia pigment for my cheek. There's a really bright cheek on the image. Eyeshadow I'm working with right now is handwritten with a little bit of with a blending brush, and I'm just going down my nose and around the nostrils. There's a pretty visible contour on the picture, even though you can't really tell, but once you look closely, it's really there. So I'm setting everything with powder, and I am going over the contour a little bit too to make it more natural. For highlight, I'm using luster drops. They're liquid. They're really beautiful highlighters. And what they do is once they set, they stay put, so they don't budge. So they're great, even over powder or foundation. So the highlight goes down the nose, on the cheek, and underneath the nose. I'm just adding more on the cheek because she's really highlighted right there. I'm using a coffee eyeliner just to go in my waterline. And one thing I did forget was putting a very light pink in the inner corner of my eye, the kind that kind of matches the center of the lip. So I'm using naked liner for the lips just to trace the lighter part. I'm not really worried about the outer because I'm going to be using a darker pencil. And I'm using In Sync, which is like corally pink, right in the center. And now I'm using coffee eyeliner again to trace and do the darker part. This wasn't the best color choice because it's too dark and it's not warm enough. So I'm actually going over it later with texture eyeshadow just to warm it up and lighten up a little bit. But if I were to do this again, I would choose different liner completely. So sorry, you can't see what I'm doing really, but it's that shape is not that hard. You're just tracing a top upper lip. You're going basically outside of your lip, and then on the bottom you're tracing that light shape. So it's pretty self-explanatory too. So now I'm going over with the texture. And you'll see it'll brighten it up a little bit and warm it up too. And I'm using a pointy eyeliner brush for this. Now I'm just gonna be grabbing a liquid eyeliner to make myself look cuter, as crazy as I do. So fake freckles right there, and that's me. Hope you like it. Let me know if you have any questions, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.